What's up, guys? What's up? Let me join as well so I can see what you guys are saying. How's everyone doing on this Sunday night? So I was gonna do an upload today, but we ended up going on a cruise today, so I didn't get a chance to edit anything for today. So I figured I'd go live, and you know, if you guys want to know anything tonight about the cars that I have here or any of the projects, let me know. But I kind of wanted to make this about you guys maybe. And if you guys have any questions with your builds or anything like that, we'll try to address that today. But let me just join in with you guys here so I can see what you guys are writing. Okay, we're here. We're here. What's up, Ben? It'd be cool. I think there's a way you can actually like do it so you can have other people. I'm gonna have to figure that out because I think we can do like almost like an interview style where I can have more than one person on the live. That would be super cool if I could figure all that technology out. Leaky Jeep, what's up, man? How do I get the spam bolts to help with this channel? Oh, spam bots. Yeah, I don't know. I keep seeing those spam bots lately on the channel. Oh, actually, all three of my channels. The two other ones are small, but I keep seeing them. The people are like, and I don't know. They're not. Whatever those spam bots are, they know how many subscribers you have, and then they make like a comment saying like, "Oh, I'm commenting on your channel before you have 100 subscribers. Can we be friends?" I keep seeing a lot of those. But I don't know. If you're asking me how to get them to help, I have no idea. Oriental Espresso. If I see a Dakota rear shocks video, I will click. Also, are those shocks able to just lift in the rear depending on what part you get? I am trying to lower the rear on mine an easy way. No, so the shocks on the Dakota, it's just exactly that. It's just dampening. It's not going to change the ride height whatsoever. So it's leaf spring in the back of these trucks. You know, some of the newer trucks like the 4th gen Ram I had are coil springs in the back, but the shocks aren't going to change any of the ride height. They're literally just softening and dampening the ride. So it doesn't matter which shock you get. It's not going to change the actual ride height, just the ride quality more or less. Mr. J Magoo, so what's up with the S2000 wrap? So I mentioned this on the live feed that I did on Friday. My buddy Ben and his shop, True Auto Creations, they were going to be wrapping it. I got to look into it. It's kind of got put on the back burner, just everything going on, and then yeah, there's some events that happened, so it's kind of on the back burner right now. But I'm gonna see, I guess, what the plan is with it, or either that's we'll see. I've already purchased all the wrap material and all that stuff, so I don't have the S2000 here right now. It's still at True Auto Creations, but I'll get to that in the next week or so. It's not like a priority. I'm not really using that car at the moment, so until the track days start happening, because right now there's no track days other than the one that I have scheduled in the middle of May. If there was a track day like this weekend or next weekend, I would definitely go, but right now there's nothing happening, so. Yeah, so as far as S2000 wrap, it is going to get wrapped. Like, I've already bought the material for it, but I still have to do some body work on it, because since we were going like full send at the track, I kind of chewed the front fenders a little bit, because the wheels that I have are such a wide stance, it kind of ate the fronts. So I wanted to get in there and do some fiberglass repairs. Also, if you guys remember that bumper that I had up in my rafters, that spoon one, we're going to put that on with the new wrap. And that has a couple areas that I need to repair on as well that I haven't done yet. So I think they were going to take care of it at the shop there, but I got to see what we're going to do or what the plan is with that. But like I said, either way we'll get it done. I just don't know what the arrangement is as of right now, just with everything going on, and then some personal stuff as well with them and Ben and his family as well. Ben says, yeah, sorry, I was, I don't know, kind of two things. I kind of like to let people like join in as well, but yeah, sometimes I'm a little bit late to the party too, so I apologize. Joy Rock, what's up, man? What's going on? What are you guys up to this weekend? Wise guy. Yeah, if you guys want to ask any questions on any of your builds and stuff, I'll try to make this one more about you guys. I know last Friday I was really getting everybody up to speed on all my projects, but and then I think, let me know in the comments down below too. I know a lot of different people wanted to do something where, I could feature some of your guys, rides or Instagrams, which is fine. I don't mind doing it. So maybe we can do some live feeds, or I can even do a video of that. Let me know, which one would you guys prefer? Me to review your trucks and give you guys a shout out on a live feed, or should I do it in a video? The live feed usually gets posted as a video anyways, but let me know. I could probably, if you guys have Instagrams and stuff like that, or YouTubes that you want to promote, I could probably like review your truck, or, you know, I'm not going to be a dick, but like, try to review your ride or whatever, and then, you know, give you guys a shout out too at the same time if you guys are working on a project as well. But would you guys rather see it in a live stream format where I could review it live, or do you guys want me to make a video out of it and then post it that way? But either way, let me know if you guys like that idea, and then I can get you guys to, you know, email me some pictures and, you know, some of the info on your guys' rides. Wise Guy said, have you ever raced competitively? It depends what type of racing. So I raced motocross pretty much at the professional level, and I also raced snowcross at the professional level. I actually attended X Games, Winter X Games in 2008 for snowcross. So I've raced those competitively. The car stuff I've never raced competitively. I've just always done that for fun. But who knows? Maybe one day. I kind of want to. There's an S2000 challenge. It kind of got interrupted this year, but here there's actually an S2000 challenge where you can race kind of competitively, I guess, whoever can set the different times. And there's different categories based on how modified your car is. And I kind of wanted to enter that. I kind of started off like I was going to do it this year, but I didn't have my car completely set up. But next year, I definitely want to try to do that and hit every single round. So there's, and I'm learning the tracks too. A lot of these guys have been tracking for years, but I want to do that with the S2000. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Mr. J. Magoo, thumbs up. Yes, sir. Enrique, hey man, hope you're doing good. That Dakota and Ram looking good. Thanks, man. I'm actually, right before, that was kind of the reason, part of the delay, I got tied up. I was actually editing the video footage for you guys on the Dakota with the suspension. So I tackled, where's the box? The energy suspension bushings. So I had all the polyurethane bushings, and I was doing that, but then not really an oversight on my side. I don't even want to call it that, but the energy suspension, the kit, it was a sealed kit that I got. You know, Jason gave me an extra one. It was a sealed kit, and they sent me a wrong bushing in the kit, and it looks similar until you really start looking at it. You can see it still got grease on it because I went to try to put it in and it wasn't fitting. And yeah, when I started looking at it, I'm like, oh damn, it's the wrong one. So I have my control arm sitting here in pieces, and I don't have a bushing to put in it. So I gotta try and get on the phone tomorrow with them. I'm still gonna edit the video of that bushing install because I finished the passenger side but didn't finish the driver's side. So I'll still get you guys that video, I don't know, probably tomorrow you guys will see that one. And yeah, that's what happened with that. So I was hoping to have the Dakota on the road so I could get some, you know, footage for you guys. I wanted to finish the front ends yesterday, and then I wanted to put the shocks in, which really wasn't much more work. But this ended up taking a lot longer than I intended. And then I, of course, didn't have the right part, so now I gotta try to get a bushing here in a hurry. That way I can put this truck back together. Glenn says, what's in your tattoo sleeve? Do I have a Mopar tattoo? No, no Mopar tattoos. I just got a bunch of like timeless elements and stuff. I got like a sun and clouds and just different things that, you know, I don't want to get anything like right now. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like the tattoos that I got are things that are just like elements, more or less. Not something like, I'm trying to think of an example. Like, that's going to be a bad example. But like, for example, like say right now I really like this Dodge Viper, and then you got that tattoo. And then 5 years from now you're like, oh, I don't like this car anymore. Then it's like, right? But like I got like the sun on there. You're not gonna be like, I hate the sun all of a sudden. So it's just, that's my mentality with the whole tattoo thing. But yeah, I just got a bunch of like whole collage on this side. But the reason why I did that is because I busted the crap out of this whole arm my whole life. So I kind of just, I don't know, blasted it with a bunch of ink just to offset it, because I broke this arm so many times and it looks physically different than this side when I was doing a lot of bodybuilding, weightlifting and stuff before. So it always bugged me, so I just blast it with ink, and you can't tell unless I tell you. So that's the reason for the whole tattoo thing on this side. Francisco, is it worth it to get a tune with the original headers? Like original headers being like cast manifolds or something like that, because most cars don't come with headers. But I'm guessing you mean like getting a tune and not getting headers on your truck. Yeah, it definitely is. You can still get power out of a vehicle, pretty much any vehicle, without getting headers on it. Like the headers is just one piece of the puzzle, but you can still get a vehicle tuned without headers. So I would definitely say yes to that. Mr. J Magoo. So what other lights do you intend on trying out? As far as which vehicle do you mean? Do you mean the Ram SRT10? If you mean the Ram SRT10, I'm probably going to try out, I don't know, honestly the Hikari brand should have worked. They should have been good, but obviously they didn't. And I'm not gonna, if they're not good, they're not good. I'm not gonna tell you guys anything else. So just know that from me. I've said it a bunch of times on this channel. Like if I try a product and it doesn't work, I will tell you it doesn't work. And it doesn't matter for me because, not to brag or anything, I'll just tell you straight out. Like companies will send me something to try, which was those bulbs. So I didn't pay anything for those bulbs. They just wanted me to test them or try them, and I did. And even though they gave me the bulbs for free, I told you exactly that they don't work that good. So that's just me, you guys. Nobody owes me anything. I'm not going to sit there and lie to you guys and tell you guys something works if it doesn't work. And I don't even have to say things sometimes, right? Like I'll physically show you, hey, this is before, this is after. You guys make the call, but if you're asking me, I don't think it's an improvement. So I like the look of the LED. Like it looks better in the sense of you look at the truck and it looks more modern. It's got that crisp white light. But when you're looking at the truck, the crisp white light looks better than the yellow halogens. But then when you go out on the street and you can't see anything, what good is it? So. Yeah, it looks better cosmetically, but functionality, they didn't perform how I was expecting. So as far as other bulbs that I'm going to try, this one actually has the same bulb, 9007. So the Dakota actually uses the same bulb as the newer Ram does. And it has the high beam and low beam all in one bulb. Actually, no, I don't have one here. But it has the high beam and low beam all in one bulb. And they work really, really good on these aftermarket headlights on the Dakota. It's super bright. So I'm going to try and maybe pull a bulb out of the Dakota and try it on one side of the Ram and see how it looks. And if all of a sudden we have way better light, then it might be that the Hikari is underperforming. So I'll try the JDM Star versus the Hikari and see. If we still have all those dead spots in the light, then I'll probably try an HID kit because it acts more like a halogen. Part of the problem and the reason why you see the dead spots, if you guys don't already know, I'll just run through my understanding of it real quick, is when you get the HID bulb, it has the element on one side and then the other side. So it's shining this way and it's shining that way. But then all over here, this area, it's not casting light this way or that way. So when it projects out, coming out of the reflector, you get dead areas versus like a regular halogen bulb. It is illuminating 360 degrees and it's coming out and it's giving you the light. So the reflector housing is expecting light to come out 360 degrees out of a bulb, and you put something like an LED that's got a chip this way and a chip that way, and all of a sudden you have a bunch of dead spots in your light like you guys saw. So for that reason, I might go HID, which HID has 360. It's a lot like a halogen, except brighter. So we might do something like that. I'll try since I know the JDM Star bulbs work really well in these headlights, and there's nothing wrong with how bright they are, I'll probably try one of these bulbs against the Hikari in the Ram. And if we still don't have good light output and it has a bunch of dead spots, then I'll probably try to get a high-end, affordable HID kit, and we'll put it in the Ram and see how it looks then. So that's kind of the plan. And then I have a ton of LEDs that I want to put in that. I actually tried to put a switchback in it, but it didn't like it. So I was going to put a switchback in there when I was messing with the headlights. I might still try to get in there, but I'm going to have to put a resistor on it, which I don't like to do, but I might try it just to try it, because I have the JDM Star switchbacks sitting here because we were messing with them on this, and they might look cool on the Ram. Anyways, moving on. Next question. Ben, today I fixed my Ram's horn since when I swapped bumpers Friday. I sprayed the front end off. And got water in the horn, so it sounded terrible. But got the water out. It probably sounded kind of funny, honestly, with some water in the horn. But glad you got it fixed at least. Nathan, tapping in from Texas. What's up, Nathan from Texas? David Schmidt. I have 98 Dakota. How do you fix the high beam light indicator on the dash when you run LED fog lights and headlights? That I don't know. I don't know. David, I don't have so my truck is 99. It should have fog lights on it, but it doesn't right now. So I don't know. It had one on it when I bought it and I just took it off. It was all busted. Eventually I want to get 2 fog lights on this truck, but I don't right now. So I don't know what indicator, because I haven't had to turn them on, honestly. Ever since I've had the truck, it's never had fogs. So I don't know what do you mean by the high beam light indicator on the dash when you run LED fog lights? I'm guessing maybe it doesn't seem at a certain load, and maybe if you have LED fog lights, the high beam indicator comes on? I don't know. You have to explain that one better, but I haven't run into it, so I can't really honestly say. But yeah, let me know a little bit more about it. I'll try to help you. Joyrock. Been crazy with the lockdown. Hours at work got cut. Once the toilet paper apocalypse ends and everything gets back to normal, I'll try to support more. Yeah, no problem, man. Don't worry about it at all. I know everybody's got their own priorities and stuff like that, so don't feel obligated to to help or whatnot. The only thing you can do, which is free, is just support the channel. Share the videos. That's free to do, and if you guys enjoy the videos, that's all I can ask for, really. But yeah, don't worry about it if you don't have the means to support the channel. I'm not pushy in that sense, but I appreciate the support. Phoenix, what's up, bro? What's up, Phoenix? David Cosper, my son has been working on his 03 5.7 Hemi. So far, he's deleting all the chrome. He wants the brass monkey wheels after seeing your videos. Right on. Yeah, I really like those wheels. I don't know. Obviously, I'm biased and I like them, but I've had 2 sets of them. So I had those 24-inch brass monkey wheels, the Hellcat Rep wheels on the last truck, and then when I saw them pop up again, I had to have them. So I don't know. I know my head's probably blocking them, but I really like those wheels. But yeah, that's cool, man. I'm glad to hear that he's working on that 03. Phoenix, I have a 2019 Ram 1500 Hemi. Is it worth swapping out the cam and lifters, or should I stick with stock equipment? These engines seem to tick a lot. It depends what your goal is. I wouldn't say to switch out the cam and lifters to try to get rid of the tick. If it's 2019, it definitely has warranty, but if you do the cam and lifters on that 2019, you're going to void your warranty. So that's the only thing I could say. I would just, if you're going for a performance, then yeah, cam and lifters, you can put a performance cam in it and, wake it up a little bit. But if you're just trying to get rid of the tick, I wouldn't do it. It's under warranty, and even still, those 3rd gen Hemis with the MDS, they're still known for lifter issues. They never really corrected it from Dodge or Ram. So I would say leave it alone. Unless you're trying to go after performance, then I would try to stick with your warranty. Once you open up that engine, you start putting performance parts in there or aftermarket parts, then unless you have a really good service rep, then your warranty is going to be gone. Ben, I wonder if the design of the Ram headlights is causing poor light output. It could be, and I haven't ruled that out. So I still have the stock headlights, but I think more of it is, like I said, they're replica headlights, obviously, right? But I think more likely is the fact that we're trying to use an LED bulb in there, and it's spitting light out this way. Maybe this way, but there's still a big void above and below the chip. I wish I had one. Oh, here we go. If I can do this without falling off. So here's an LED, right? Hopefully you guys can see this. Let me see if you guys can see it. So it's gonna emit light this way and this way, but it's gonna have a big dead spot there and on the back, right? So that is the problem with running an LED in something that is expecting to have light emitting from 360 degrees. I don't care what anybody says, but you're not going to get light shining bright this way or from behind when it's got a chip on the side, you know, having light come out this side and this side. Whereas you take a halogen and you get light coming out at 360 degrees. So that's the problem with putting these in. So sometimes they work and sometimes they come out bright, but just know that you're not getting that 360 degrees of light coming out. So you're going to end up with probably a dead spot in most cases. So we'll try, like I said, I'll try the LEDs that are in these headlights, which are super bright. I'll try putting them in the Ram. And if it still looks like crap, then I'm going to try a HID kit on the Ram headlights, and I think it should work, because that's the only other thing. That's the only reason why there's big chunks of light missing, is because of what I just showed you. Mighty Mouse, what's up, man? You guys go check out Mighty Mouse's channel. We were just ripping. We went on a cruise with him today, but I'll have that footage for you guys in a few days too. I did HID in my 05 Ram. It was still garbage. I had to do projector retrofit to get anything decent on that truck. See, that's what makes me wonder is honestly because I road tripped that truck across the country at the beginning of the year, I guess the end of last year, whatever. And the stock halogens actually worked pretty good. Like there was pretty decent light out of it. I mean, it wasn't like a newer car, but it was still, we could still see. I mean, I was driving through the night most of the time with my mom in that thing, and we could see perfectly. So I don't think it's necessarily the design of the headlight. I think it's just getting the right bulb in there and something that's going to shine bright. So I'll dial it in. If we have to, you know, eventually go projector, I just don't like the look of the projector on the older vehicles. For some reason, I'm like, I don't know, if there's a projector stuck in there where it doesn't look like it came with it, it kind of just bugs me, but that's just me. We'll eventually get dialed in. I'll mess with a bunch of stuff until we finally get the light output that we're looking for. And like I said, I'll document the whole thing and, you know, take you guys along for that journey as well. But yeah, go check out Mighty Mouse's channel. He's got a bunch of Viper content, a bunch of cool stuff over there too. Chris Turner, have you had to drop the oil pan on the Dakota yet? If so, do you have advice on how to do it? Will the transmission pan have to come off first? Yeah, I think you were asking that question on Friday's one too. I haven't had to do it personally on the Dakota. I know the cross member's like right in the way, but I saw another guy on Friday that I think answered your question too. He said that you just lift the motor up a little bit, so just loosen the motor mounts and just raise the motor up and you can sneak it out. So that's what somebody said on Friday's live chat as well. So I would do that because the motor mounts on the Dakota are pretty nice. They're like hooks like this, like kind of like a C. And it looks like if you just loosen the bolt, you can just lift it up and out. You don't have to like physically take a bolt out. You just loosen the bolt and then you could jack up the engine or somehow lift up the engine. And then you should be able to get the oil pan out according to the other guy. But I do have to do a rear main seal on this at some point. So it's not my priority right now, but I think I will have to be doing it at some point because it is leaking a little bit. It's not like dripping, but just I can see it's a little bit wet. David, when you turn on the headlights and the fog lights at the same time, the high beam indicator light come on in the dash. Is that normal for Dakotas? I don't think it's high beam. I think there's usually like a little like kind of fog light thing, right? It looks like a little D with like 3 hash marks facing down. I thought that was the fog light thing, but I don't know. Like I said, my truck doesn't have fog lights in it right now, so I don't know. I can't comment on that one, but once I eventually get fog lights in, I'll hopefully see what you're talking about. Joy Brock, you have any plans on squeezing any more power to the S2K, or is an upgrade planned for the future? Yeah, definitely. So on the S2000, you know, before all of this started going on in the world, I was like this close to buying a supercharger kit for the S2000. Right before everything kind of hit the fan. The shop that I actually went to and got the tires mounted, I think you guys probably saw that video, but they had a supercharger kit and they're holding it for me, and I didn't pull the trigger on it because I wasn't sure what state the engine was in, and just life as well kind of got in the way too. But apparently they're going to have another kit as well, so I'm going to try to snag a supercharger kit for the S2000. Only thing that's kind of holding me back from doing that is right now with the S2000 being naturally aspirated, I can take it to the track and I can beat on it all day long without worrying about it overheating or having any issues. I can just drive it there, beat on it all day long, and I can stay out there as long as I want, and it doesn't overheat. As soon as I put the supercharger on it and try to get more power out of it, it's going to create more heat, and I'm just going to have to be more conscious of, you know, wear and tear on the car, and, you know, I might get a few good laps in, and then I'm going to maybe have to do a few cool down laps, because it's going to be, you know, pushing my IATs up, and it's just the temperature and the oil temperature and everything's going to rise with boost. So it's going to be fun though. Like that little car, once we put a supercharger on, is going to be nuts. That's the only place that's really lacking right now, is just horsepower. So, but at the same time too, I want to get my skills up too, learn all the tracks with the car the way it is. That way, once I add the horsepower, I'll already know the track, because last thing I want to do is go to the track with a bunch of extra horsepower that I can't use. So if I can get as fast as possible with, you know, minimal horsepower, which is what I'm doing right now, just, you know, get my skill good, then once I add the supercharger, I'll be flying. Like, we're already beating McLarens and Porsches and all those kinds of things, right? So if that's a loud car. All right. And yeah, so we're already beating like a bunch of fast cars on the track, you know, Camaros, Corvettes, all sorts of, you know, high horsepower cars. So once we put the supercharger on there, it's going to be hard to keep up with. So it'll be good. It'll be pretty cool. But that's the plan. I do ultimately want to supercharge the S2000. Fred, HIDs on reflector lights will have poor light spread and even worse light cutoff. You'll probably be better off with projector retrofits. Yeah, we'll see once we get there. I know just as much as LED technology is advancing, I know the HID technology has advanced too. So I know they had HIDs that have like a high beam, like a little halogen within the HID as well for the high beam. So I'll look into it. We'll see. Like I said, not like a huge priority. That truck we're just tinkering with it, right? But we'll do the comparison between the LEDs, the 9007s that are in the Dakota. We'll pull out the bulb, throw it in the Ram, compare the Hikari to the JDM Star, see if, you know, one outperforms the other, and maybe a solution there. If not, then we'll move on to a different bulb, or maybe a projector retrofit or something like that. Would you rather run LED or HID in the fog lights on the Ram 1500? I actually, the one that I was shaking in front of the camera here, this is actually a JDM Star LED bulb that I'm going to be testing out in the fog lights on the Ram. So we're going to put these in. I lent these to Jonathan before, and he covered them in mud in his Jeep for me, but he didn't use them that much. So we're going to throw these in he switched his headlight setup. If you guys haven't seen Jonathan's channel, go check that out. He ended up putting halogen projectors. I think they were halogens. But anyways, he put projector headlights in his truck, and they used a different bulb. So he gave me these back since he's not using them anymore. But we'll put these, and we'll test these on the fogs on the Ram, and I'll see how they work. If not, we could try the LEDs, or HIDs. But I think these should work pretty good. Yeah, so Aaron, just to conclude on that, let me test it first. I'll see if these work good. So just give me about a week or so. I should be able to test these out for you guys, and then I'll give you guys a review on those as well and see if they look really good and really bright. Then I would say get something like this. But let me do that test for you guys, and I should have it within a week. So just hold up. Ben, I find reflectors are horrible for getting really good light output. I've tried HIDs on my 18 with the reflectors for a year, and they just didn't hold up. Poor brightness, but good light spread. Yeah, I mean, you can't beat a projector. A projector, whether it's for HIDs or LEDs or halogens or whatever it's for, projector headlights are just, you know, the light is just concentrated and focused way better than a reflector. But I just don't know if I want to put that on that truck. I just really like the look of those headlights, but we'll see. We'll see if I can dial something in. If not, we'll go to projector. Cybernation, you need to get the LED bulbs that have the Cobb LEDs 360 all the way on. Way more. Yeah, I'm going to have to look into that, because these ones with the LED chips on each side, These are no bueno in those lights. So I'll look into something else though, you guys. I'll try the JD Mastar bulbs. If those don't work, then I'll look into the next thing. Since we have, I'll use what we have here, and then I'll start ordering some stuff too. Enrique, I have a Dakota RT, and something that would be a nice addition to your truck is an X-Line X-Loom RT badge. Just a thought, but definitely worth checking out. As always, great content. Thanks, man. Yeah, I'll check that. I don't know what an X-Loom RT badge is, but I might make some, because I can make different, stickers and whatnot. So I gotta eventually get something on the side of it. Right now it's plain, but I kind of like the sleek look too. But yeah, I'll get some badging on the side of it for sure. Ben, LEDs on the other hand that I have now in them give good brightness and more directed light, but lack the spread like you mentioned. Yeah, I'll mess with it, you guys, and I'll give you guys my feedback. David, any Viper content near future? Love the channel. Thanks, David. Yeah, ton of Viper content. I might put the Viper content on Boosted Motorsports too, just because a lot of guys are truck guys on the main Boosted Motorsports channel. But if you guys really want to see it, let me know. Let me know in the comments. You guys want to see the car stuff go on Boosted Motorsports too? Just we can kind of separate that, and we'll just keep truck stuff on the main one, the one we're on right now. But we got a ton of stuff for this. One other thing that I think I mentioned is we're going to be doing the cam, obviously, on the Dakota, and the Viper is pretty much the same engine except aluminum, but very similar. At least, with the rockers and all that stuff. So if I can successfully do the Dakota cam without too much headache, I'm probably going to throw a cam in the Viper, honestly. Because I think that would be cool and it would sound all lumpy and all that stuff. So yeah, I'll probably try tackling that if the Dakota isn't a nightmare to do. Either way, I'll get the Dakota cam done. But if it's a huge, hassle, then I don't know if I want to do it on the Viper. But I would like to put a cam in the Viper. So definitely that. Other things, I have all silicone heater hoses, so upgraded heater hoses for the whole car that I still have to put on. What else do I have? I have some other stuff too. And if you guys are into Viper content, I did put solid engine mounts on this, and my honest review, and I'll probably do a completely separate video, but they work amazing. So Boosted Motorsports, he sent us the engine mounts for this thing, and they work so good, you guys. And I'm not, like I said, you guys know me, and I gave you guys my full honest opinion earlier. If something works, I'll tell you. If it doesn't work, I'll tell you too. But those engine mounts are wicked. They don't rattle the crap out of the car. The car feels way more solid. My shifter's not going all over the place. Like if you drive a stock Viper and you whack the gas, if you guys ever watch my early autocross videos, you'll see every time I hit the gas, the shifter goes like this because the engine is just torquing in the chassis. So yeah, those mounts work really well. And I have a bunch of other stuff. We're going to be putting those sticky ACR tires on it. And I have some stuff for this Viper to make it like at least 200 horsepower more than what it is now. So yeah, that's all I'll say for now. But I'm trying to get the channel to 50K before I announce that build. But we got so much on the go. We still have the Dakota, we still have the SRT, we still have the S2000. So lots to keep us busy. I'm trying to wait till we get to 50K before we drop the Viper build for you guys. But this thing is going to be a monster. So yeah, definitely a lot of Viper content still coming. Where am I in these comments? Supercharge the S2000, upgrade it to multi-core aluminum radiator, and beat the Z06 by huge margins. Yeah, so we'll, I mean, it's funny too, like, we didn't even need the supercharger to beat most of the cars out on the track. It's just, between, skill and a properly set up car and some downforce, like, that car was flying. And I mean, I don't even have full slicks on the car, but yeah, I definitely want to add some power to it. The other thing, like I already have, I'm definitely going to modify it. I've already kind of got everything. I've been collecting parts just when I see them pop up. So I already have a full standalone ECU for the car. So I have a fully programmable standalone ECU for the S2000. So that's going to be ready to go in. So we'll be able to fully tune it and program it and all that stuff. And then I also have injectors that I picked up. So I have the fuel injectors. Only thing that I need now is just a supercharger kit. So we're going to be doing that, but I think I'll probably honestly have to rebuild the head on the S2000 before the end of this year, because it's looking a little tired. I think the valves are probably pounded out of it a little bit, so I'll probably pull the head on the S2000, rework it. It's not burning any oil or anything, but I think the heads are kind of leaking a little bit, the valves, which is common on the S2000s. They get a little bit hot and they start leaking on, like they burn the exhaust valves a bit. Because I had to adjust them a ton when I first got the car, like, and when you have to adjust the valves, that means that the seats are pounded out, because when the valve gets tighter and you lose that clearance, you know, on your valve clearances, that means that the actual seat where the valve, like the plunger, meets the head, that's being worn out. That's why the valve is coming up and closing your tolerance. So I had to adjust them quite a bit, which tells me that the valves are on their way out. But yeah, so I'll have to pull the head at some point, and I want to do that before we add a ton of power to it. Otherwise, it's kind of asking for problems. But yeah, we got so many projects on the go, but it's fun. It keeps it interesting, right? So yeah, we'll upgrade the S2000 here at some point. Oriental Espresso, are you going to do a Dakota brake job anytime soon? Need to upgrade my rotors. Is slotted or drilled? I don't think I'm gonna upgrade them. I did talk or touch base on Friday about that whole thing. I was thinking of taking the old brakes off the Viper and putting them on the Dakota. Since I have them sitting here, I have the rotors and the calipers. Because we did the big brake upgrade on the Viper, which means I have the Brembo brakes from the Viper that I could technically put on here. It's the same bolt pattern, I've got the rotors, everything could just go on there, but I would have to make and design the brackets, because I don't think anybody sells those. So if you guys are interested in, I don't know how many guys would be interested in me making and designing and producing those brackets. If you guys are interested in something like that, maybe email me. BoostedMotorsports88@gmail.com, and I don't know if we get enough people together with enough interest, then maybe I'll try to make them for you guys. But yeah, we could do that. But as far as brakes, I upgraded, or not upgrade, I replaced all the rear drums on the Dakota already. So check out that video. So I've just replaced the brakes, so the whole back end is done, refreshed, and the fronts are still fine. We just had to fix the slider pins. So I still have a ton of meat on the front. They're pretty fresh, but as far as upgrades, if I'm going to upgrade the braking on the Dakota, it's going to be probably the Viper brakes going on that. Cybernation, cars on number 2. Oh, just to finish up Oriental's thing, brake fluid advice. Is slotted or drilled rotors adding a lot? I don't buy into the whole slotted and drilled thing. It's kind of a misconception. I mean, for example, on the S2000, I just have blank rotors, and that thing works phenomenal. So a lot of brakes will have like vents in the middle of them, so they'll be vented, and the whole, you know, slotted and drilled things, unless you're spending a ton of money on super high-end brakes, just getting like cheap ones that are, you know, slotted and drilled, it's not really doing anything, honestly, other than, you know, creating a rough surface to chew out your pads more. It's kind of like, unless you're spending a lot of money, like big money on brakes, I wouldn't buy the cheap ones that have the slotted and drilled. It's honestly a waste. As far as brake fluid goes, you're not racing it, I don't think, like on road course, so I would just stick with your regular brake fluid. I wouldn't waste extra. Like, I have racing fluid that I use on things that matter. So I mean, we put like .4 racing brake fluid in the Viper and the S2000, but on this, just use regular stuff, .3 or whatever, .4. But don't try and go all crazy expensive. It's kind of wasting money. S2000 have a dry sump. Nope, it's just conventional, just oil pickup on the bottom. So nothing fancy on the S2000. Any board throttle bodies coming in soon? I sent some to get done. So I should have them. I don't know when I'll have them back. Obviously, you guys can understand, like, with everything going on, that I don't necessarily have a bunch of them right now, and you know, my machinist is a little bit slower than usual. But yeah, I should have some. I would say at the most 3 weeks to a month, I'll have throttle bodies again. That's kind of where I'm thinking as far as getting them back. Let's see. Cameron Rose, interested to hear your thoughts on the electric fan install that you did on the Dakota now that it's been a while since that video. I'm waiting on parts to do mine this week. No complaints so far. I haven't had to use it in the middle of summer, so I'll give you my honest opinion on that. But I did drive around in some pretty hot degrees, like over, I would say 100 degrees and stuff over here. And I didn't have any issues. The only thing is, and I think I was discussing this with Jason the other day, is when you're in stop and go traffic, I have a 185 degree thermostat on this truck, and it tends to run pretty cool. The only thing is where I put the probe for the fan relay kit, the fan comes on a little bit early, in my opinion. I think it could come on later. So in my opinion, it tries to come on a little early to try to cool the truck, and it keeps the temps really low. So as far as, I mean, it's almost a good thing. I've never had it overheat, but I think the fan could probably wait a little bit until it comes on. So, but yeah, as far as cooling, it's never been an issue. It seems to work fine. And I just have that cheap little fan on there with that little relay kit. And no issues so far, but I will let you guys know if any of that changes. But yeah, I just think the fan comes on a little bit sooner, or a little too soon. But you can buy different probes that, like the switch, the temperature switch, so that it comes on later or whenever. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Ben, I like the idea of doing truck stuff on this channel and car stuff on the second one, but at the same time, I'm much more like seeing it all on this channel. It keeps it simple for how I watch YouTube. Yeah, I've just been trying to play both sides of it as far as trying to, you know, get this thing cracking. So for a while there was like a big spike in the channel as far as subs, but right now it's averaging about, I don't know, I want to say about 1,400 or 1,500 new subscribers every month, which isn't bad, but I want to get it to be big. Some of these guys get their channels and they just like 200 followers a day, 300 followers a day, and like my channel hasn't seen that. I think our content is good. I've tried to switch it up with a variety of different content, whether it's vlogging, which you guys will see. I vlogged the whole adventure of taking the Viper for a cruise today. So I'll post that as well, but it doesn't seem to get the recognition that I think it should get. So that's why I'm playing with the other channel. So I'm posting content here and there to see if maybe YouTube sees it on a newer, fresher channel with car content, because this channel was made in 2008. It would make my life way easier just to post everything on one channel, but I've pretty much posted every single day for the last, you know, year or two. And I mean, it's been good. I can't complain too much, but I don't think it's seeing the growth that it could see. And I don't know whether it's me missing some little element or some key ingredient on the whole thing or what, but I'm just trying to cover all my bases and make sure that this whole thing takes off. So that's why I'm posting the two channels. See if for some reason maybe over there, you know, some of the content gets suggested more. Apparently, I've done a bunch of research, obviously, like it's not like I'm just blindly making the other channel. Apparently when you get a YouTube channel, you know, over 1,000 subscribers and you get around, I think it's between 30 and 50 videos that YouTube actually acknowledges or recognizes your channel. So I'm almost there with the other channel. I just got to keep posting. Obviously, you know, 30 to 50 videos would happen, you know, over the course of a month if I post every single day there. So I want to get it to that mark and see if that starts happening, if some of that content really starts getting suggested on the new channel. Because there's some weird things. Like, I don't know if you guys are into YouTube too much, but, and I don't want to make this live stream about that, but like, even my dashboard, when I go in to, you know, edit and do all those and analytics on my YouTube dashboard, my dashboard for this channel, which was made in 2008, it looks different than the channel that I created Boosted Motorsports 2 on. Like, some of the buttons are different, which makes no sense. So that's part of my logic. So we'll see. Just hang tight with me, guys. You know, I appreciate you guys, you know, sticking with me and me testing stuff and allowing me to test stuff and still sticking around. So that's just the only reason why I'm making two channels. I understand it's be easier for you guys, easier for me to just have everything on one channel, but that is the reason why I have two. Is I'm just posting in both places until something hits, and then we'll just skyrocket with that. Let me see where I was. Let's move around. SSH. Hopefully we get to see the major mods to the Viper before we get to the S2000. Yeah, I mean, we're at 45K pretty much right now, so when you go like, I don't know, I'm trying to stick to the 50,000K before I drop the, you know, the build on this. Plus, I really want to get this truck to a decent level before I start, you know, on this, because this is going to consume a bunch of our time getting this thing dialed in as well. So I don't want to have a bunch of huge projects on the go. I kind of want to sort one vehicle out at a time at least. I know we jump around if we're waiting on parts, right, or something like that, but I do want to at least finish a project to some degree or extent before I completely start a huge one, which this one's going to be a big project too. So yeah, we'll get the Dakota up and running good for once. I've pretty much replaced almost everything on the whole stupid truck, so I think it's finally going to be coming around. Like, honestly, everything in the back end is completely changed almost. We've changed all the bushing in the back end. We're going to have changed the shocks. We put all new brakes in the back. We did all the brakes in the front. It's got new wheel bearings in the front. It's got all new bushings in the front, new shocks in the front. We put a new fuel pump in it. We refreshed the transmission in it. We put a different engine in the truck. We completely cleaned up the interior. Put new headlights, put LEDs on the whole truck. I don't know what else we haven't touched on this truck. We're gonna have reworked the whole like exhaust, like everything. So at this point, or once we finish the truck, like this thing is we're gonna have gone through the whole entire truck, and I think at that point it finally should be. But every single time we touch something on this, it's like seized or giving us an issue, or I try to do the bushings on it, and for some reason it's the wrong bushing. It's like I swear this truck is cursed. But we'll get to it. We're almost there, I promise. Ben says, either way won't stop me from watching all the vids. Thanks, man. No, I appreciate it. Like I said, just stick with me, hang tight. Hopefully I'll be able to get to the bottom of this, and whether posting on the other channel or not will help. But I'll hopefully have some answers soon. I'm trying to get to that 30 to 50 video mark and see if something takes off on the other channel, and then we should know. Chris, I would love to see more Viper content, maintenance, etc. If you guys are somewhat new to the channel too, check out my playlists. I know a lot of people don't, you know, click on the playlist sometimes, but if you go to like my main channel or main page, which is this one, and go to playlists, I've separated all the videos throughout the whole time on playlists. So if you guys are into Viper maintenance, I have a playlist that says Viper maintenance. If you're into Dodge Viper mods, there's a playlist for Dodge Viper mods. I also have the same thing for Rams, Ram maintenance, Ram mods. I started one for the Dakota. I started one for the 3rd gen. So 4th gen Ram, 3rd gen Ram. Like, I have all playlists of all the videos I've made, and I think I've made like 500 or 600 videos at this point. So there's a ton of content on this. I've done all the maintenance stuff on the Viper, oil changes, all that stuff. I've done it on pretty much every vehicle. So check out those playlists if you guys are curious, if you guys have subscribed somewhat soon or somewhat recently, or maybe if you guys have been on for a while. Check out the playlist because there's a ton of content buried in there. Street Artist, I wanted to start videoing my cammed supercharged Dakota RT. You should, man. I mean, go for it. There's nothing stopping you. And right now, with everybody being stuck inside, I don't know if you are or you aren't, but it's a perfect time to start right now. Dom, why were you traveling during a national quarantine, global quarantine, risking your life and the life of others? Well, actually, I wasn't, but we're not going to get into a political debate on this, so thanks, I guess. Moving on. Joshua, keep it up, brother. Love all the videos. Thanks, brother. Thanks for the support, and we'll keep plugging along here. Street Artist, do a shaker hood. Shaker hood on the Dakota. We'll see. The hood that's on the Dakota right now is all bent up, so I do have to put a hood on it at some point here. But I think I like the stock hood, honestly, guys. But we'll see. I don't know. I think Jason has a couple hoods, so we might just throw one on this just to see how it looks. But I'm gonna try to keep. The only thing I would like to do is put something lighter on there. That hood is so freaking heavy. But yeah, at some point I do have to change the hood because that one's bent from whatever wreck it was in previous to me. David says, to start a channel, what do you suggest? Computer drone cameras. I'm thinking about building my 7.3 power stroke and picking up Mustang GT to make Mustang week and other events. Honestly, I would say the best thing you can do to start YouTube, if you guys are ever wanting to, is don't think that you need. And I've covered this on my other channel, The Garage, I think, and I'll probably do more content on there. Don't think that you need like a fancy camera or fancy anything to start YouTube. Like for example, right now, I am streaming to you guys on an iPhone. So you really only need a smartphone to start YouTube. I mean, you guys can hear me okay, you guys can see me okay, and this is with live stream. And a lot of times between, I mean, here's my GoPro setup. Like, that's a GoPro setup. Some guys have big fancy cameras. I had like a $2,000 Canon camera before, but I felt like it wasn't that much different. And it didn't have image stabilization, which new cell phones actually have. So, and what I mean by that, or what that means is, if you're holding this camera, right? If I'm driving or if I'm walking around, this is stabilizing itself. So the image is actually stabilizing itself, and the iPhone actually has that, or all the new smartphones do. So you can be walking, and even if your hand is like shaking like this, for the most part, the video is going to come out clean. So what I'm saying is, pretty much the best camera that you can get is right here. A lot of the content that you guys watch on my channel, I'll film from my iPhone, and there was a period of time for months and months, I went with just using my iPhone for all of my videos. Like some of my best videos that I made were from this iPhone here. And you know, it films good quality, the sound is good, all that stuff. The only thing that was becoming an issue is if somebody would call me or text me or something like that, it would interrupt my video. So that's why I decided to go back to a GoPro, which is smaller. And the only reason why I use this sometimes is because if I'm working in the fender or under the hood, I can get this into a lot more places versus a phone, and this thing's not ringing and buzzing, you know, or it is, but that isn't. So I would say just use your phone, honestly. And as far as editing, I mean, you can edit on your phone too. So I know a lot of guys are pretty, you know, fluent with working on their phones. I would just do that. Even an iPhone, it comes with iMovie, and you can stitch all your clips together on iMovie. So you don't even have to spend money, honestly. So I would say that don't focus on the equipment, because no matter what, you're not gonna make your best videos right off the get-go. So just get comfortable with filming in the process, and just use what you have. Because even for me, it's hard to watch my old videos, because just the improvement over time is just a lot different. But if you're asking me as far as what I use, I have a GoPro Hero 7 Black, which is what's there. iPhone XR, or XR, this is iPhone XR, and then I just use a Mac with Final Cut Pro. What else we got? Charles, when you ran the shorty headers on your 5.7 Ram, did you also run stock cats or go with custom exhaust? Kind of both. So I ran the stock cats, and also, if you guys, you know, the stock Y pipe is what has the cats, right? So if you guys look at those 4th gen Rams, the Y pipe has 2 cats in it. It's all one piece, all the way into where it meets a single. But there's a huge restriction where the 2 from the Y pipe, where it meets into 1. So what I did do was I cut out the middle of that and took out all the restriction after the cats. So the stock cats were still there, but I took out all the restriction, and it flows way better. And it honestly, like, it made such a big difference that you could hear it audibly out the back. It had a deeper tone once we took out the restriction. And there's a plate. So what they do is, where the Y pipe comes in, it comes into 1 from the factory, just from a cost standpoint. They take both halves and they just crunch them together. So you literally have this blade of 2 crunched pipes into each other all the way to where it comes out at 1. And what you do is you take it and you cut it all out, and you have somebody re-weld it in there so that it flows better. Because it's a huge restriction on there. So hopefully that answers your question. Paul, have you ever tried to do a collaboration with Sarah and Tuned or Chris Fix? They both have a ton of subscribers, and I think that would help your channel out a lot. I thoroughly enjoy all your content. Thanks, Paul. I guess, I mean, I could try to get in contact with them. I think, I don't know, maybe it's just my conception or misconception, is I think that once certain YouTubers get big enough, I think they get approached so much. And I mean, maybe this isn't the wrong, or it might not be the wrong idea or mentality to have, but I think that they get approached so much that they want something in return as far as monetary something. So I almost feel like, because I've heard of other smaller YouTubers doing that, where they're paying their way to the top. So they're paying money to get a shout out from another channel, which I guess maybe could pay dividends. But today we met up with some YouTubers as well, so I would rather do it on a organic, like natural front, like meeting people and actually having like a normal, friendship with somebody, and you're YouTubing together rather than awkwardly approaching. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I should, not take that mentality on it and try it. But yeah, I've watched Chris Fix's videos before, and they're pretty cool too. I don't get the whole wearing a helmet everywhere thing and not showing his face, but yeah, he definitely has some good videos and how-to videos on fixing cars. I don't know. Maybe I'll look into it. SSH, do you still have the original transmission in the Dakota or the one that came with the replacement motor? So, I don't even think it was the original transmission from the Dakota, but the one that I bought it with, which I don't think was the original one that came in the truck, I think it was already been changed at one point. That's the one that's still in it. The one that I didn't know the history on, because I knew that even when the truck blew up, the engine blew up, the transmission was still always solid in this truck, even when we went to the racetrack and all that stuff. So I knew the transmission was decent for now. So I left that in it, and then we just put the engine on it. So I still have that spare transmission, but I don't know the history on the spare transmission or whether it shifts good or anything. Where am I here? Oh, I think I skipped over a leaky Jeep. I think I saw it. Sorry, I think I'm skipping around on some of the comments here. So Joshua said, keep it up, brother. Love the videos. Appreciate it, man. And then Leaky Jeep says, slotted rotors chewed up my pads. So that's what I was kind of saying, too. Chunks of them had come out. I've been a fan of Hawk HPS pads for years. The more heat, the better they grab. Ever tried Hawk or heard of them? Yeah, so I've used Hawk pads. I've heard of them. The ones that we have on the S2000, those are Raybestos ST43s. If you guys haven't heard of them, they're like a well-known track-proven pad. So that's what we have on there, because I did all the research and I was thinking about going with the Hawks, but I heard the Hawks eat rotors, and whereas the Raybestos ones that I got, they're a little bit easier on the rotors and they last way longer and don't have as bad of brake dust. One of the problems with Hawk pads is, like the really aggressive track pad, is the brake dust is corrosive to the actual wheel. So I didn't want to get into that, so I went with the Raybestos ones, and they work awesome, honestly. Yeah, the shaker hood, I think I saw that. I answered those questions. The transmission, Rick S. would like your thoughts on your top 5 mods done to your Viper. These are the mods you would recommend immediately to others. If we're talking Gen 2s, or yeah, I guess even 92 to 02, as far as mods go, it's kind of 2 categories for me. So if you're talking like good mods that I would like must-have mods, there's at least 2 essential things that you have to do to these cars in order for them not to break on you, which is the power steering pulley and the bracket, because they're known to break, and then also getting rid of the rubber lower rad hose, because they're known to burst from the factory. So that would be my first 2 immediate mods, is change out your upper and lower rad hose to the silicone upgraded ones, and then also change out your power steering pulley and your bracket to the aluminum ones from IPSCO. So those are like a no-brainer, like you have to change them, otherwise you're gonna run into problems. Once that's done, I would probably say polyurethane transmission mount would be my third, because the stock one is just like, it's so sloppy. It messes with your shifts. Like if you try to bang a gear in a stock Viper, when you hit the gas, the engine's under so much torque, and there's so much torque on this engine that the shifter's over here, and then when you let off the gas to shift and you think you're going over here, the engine is rocking back the opposite way and you miss a gear every time. So I would do the energy suspension transmission mount, which is actually cheap. It's like the same mount as I think like a Chevy or something. It's like, honestly, it's like 20 or 30 bucks for that. And then I think one of my favorite mods on this car is my short throw shifter, the IPSCO one. That thing is like completely changes the car. You never miss a gear, and it shortens up the shifts and makes it way more precise. And I also have the billet aluminum transmission cross brace from IPSCO, which tightens everything up again. I think that's probably enough to answer your question, but other than that, there's so many mods done to this car, honestly, guys. If you guys go back in the videos, like, it has everything completely changed. Every single bushing is changed to polyurethane. I got solid power steering rack mounts, which tightens up the steering. I've got sway bar, billet aluminum sway bar brackets with polyurethane bushings in it, which tightens up the chassis even more. Literally everything has changed on this car. It's got a Borla catback exhaust on it. Lots of stuff. But those would be my top mods, I think, for sure. Mighty Mouse, cut the lip off the Viper. Do it live. We got a cutter here. Let's cut it. Yeah, what Mighty Mouse is talking about today, Cam, we were talking about trimming off the bottom of the lip on the Viper. It has this weird, awkward, like, they call it a chin spoiler. It's got this extra piece below the bumper that's like maybe 1.5 inches long across the bottom, and it always drags on everything. What I wanted to do is, I was telling Cam, is cut it off completely clean, flat, and do a proper splitter for the front of this car. I think it would look really good, but I'll probably get to it at some point. UN Black Guns Express, if I got the name right, should do a couple of meetups, let's say with your SRT10 once, and then another with the Dakota, maybe help subs. Yeah, for sure. I actually did a video with Custom Black Guns. He's in Vegas, so I think he's like 3 hours away. Honestly, what I wanted to do, because he goes to some of the track days and stuff out there, is once we get the Dakota working somewhat decent, I will and I want to just go out there one day, kick it with Joey over there from Custom Black Guns, and we'll go to the drag strip out there. So I just wish that I can get this thing. Well, I mean, at some point we'll get this thing running properly, and we'll go out there and we'll do that. So I think that's a good idea, and I definitely am going to do that too. Dr. Differential, my S10 is cursed. That Dakota is beautiful on camera. Do you even plan on doing anything with the Hemi platform? Not saying swap, but maybe Challenger or anything. I don't know. I really wanted to Hellcat swap the Dakota, and I might still do it eventually. Right now, I'm kind of, with everything going on in the world, I don't even have to say it to you guys, and I know everybody's sick and tired of hearing about it, but I just want to hang tight a little bit. I don't want to be in over my head. I think, like, the second thing to everything that's going on right now is going to be, you know, with everybody being out of work and companies and businesses and everything being shut down, I think the next thing might not even be people getting sick. I think the next thing is going to be a serious recession from all these companies being forced to shut down. People aren't making big purchases, which is, you know, causing a ripple effect of other businesses being shut down. So I'm already looking at it that way, that I don't want to, you know, put myself in a position where, you know, maybe 3-6 months from now, when, you know, everything hits the fan, that I've, you know, spent too much money in the wrong places. So I want to make sure that I come out the other side, and I don't want to have to sell any of this stuff. So I'm sure you guys can understand that. It just makes sense, right? So we still have a lot of work, a lot of projects, you know, and stuff to keep us busy. So I'm going to kind of hang tight on any big spending stuff. But I would eventually like to Hellcat swap this. The only thing is keeping it street legal is going to go out the window. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, as far as the Hemi platform, I would like to Hellcat swap it at some point. Or if we make big power with the Magnum and we're happy with how it goes, then maybe we'll leave it. But yeah, that would be my answer to that. Birdman. Hey, so I got a problem with my ETC light. Check the throttle body, and it was fine. Should I buy a whole new sensor? What vehicle? ETC light. I don't know. I mean, that could be anything. It's hard for me to diagnose remotely just from that. But yeah, I'm not too sure. Street Artists. Run the fiberglass cowl hood. It's on eBay for $406, I think it was. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. I think there's, like, I think what you're saying, there's a hood that looks not too aggressive. It looks pretty stock, but it's kind of just, like you said, a cowl hood on it. I'll have to look into it, but like I said, I dropped about $500, you know, $500 or $600 on the cam that we're getting for this, And yeah, as far as that's what I'm going to do for now. So I'm going to focus on that. Like I said, I don't want to make any big purchases or spend too much money. We still have a ton of work to get done on all the stuff. We still have Jason's truck to work on too. So we got a lot of content and a lot of stuff to keep us busy without spending a bunch of money. So I really want to see what's going to go on with the economy in the next little bit before I keep throwing a bunch of money at stuff right now. I'm a truck new when it comes to lights on the dash, etc. 2011 etc. I don't know. I don't know if the etc would be your throttle body. I would try to pull some codes on that truck to see what it says. Chris, found the playlist. Thanks. Yeah, check out those playlists, you guys. If you guys are somewhat new, or even if you've been subscribed for a while, check out the playlists on this channel. There's like hundreds and hundreds of videos on some of those playlists, so it'll keep you occupied before. No, I mean, I'll say it. I'll be the first to say it. My older videos definitely aren't as good as my new videos, which is kind of just natural progression. Some of the older videos might have had annoying music on it, which you can't use like a normal song or music on YouTube. You have to use copyright-free stuff. And some of the stuff that I was finding before was a little bit annoying. I was still learning editing, so maybe the volume was too loud. Like maybe that free music was too loud. But I can't change it now. It is what it is. The information is good on those videos, but and I probably wasn't as personable on the videos. I'm more comfortable in front of the camera, and there's nobody in here, but I have to be talking to this thing like as if I'm talking to a person. So yeah, I've gotten better at videos, but there's a lot of good information on those older videos, so definitely check them out. SSH, do you do paint and body work? Would be cool to see how you spray paint and clear coat. No, I haven't. Honestly, I'll be completely honest with you guys. I haven't messed with it too much. I've done some body work. I did some when I was in my teens. I completely did a bunch of body work on my S2000, like my old S2000, one of my first big projects. So I completely did a custom wide body kit on one of my older S2000s, which was really cool. So I spent about a month or two in a body shop learning all that stuff. But I mean, I haven't done any of that stuff for like over 10 years. So when we got the other S2000 Supercar Suspects car that fell off the lift, I had to fix a bunch of stuff, but I wasn't trying to be perfect with it. Like I'm like the type, I like to fix things, but as far as the artistic aspect of it, I'm not like super artsy. So when you ask me to like make this thing perfectly smooth and like try to have an eye for something artistic or like beautiful, like that's not me. I just don't have it in it. So yeah, I would like to paint some stuff. I actually got like the air compressor that's right here that you guys can't see. I mean, I got a big enough air compressor, did all the research. I got all the different filters and dryers and all that stuff. And I got one of those cheap Harbor Freight paint guns that everybody runs. I have everything, and I have the actual paint mask. I have everything to be able to paint. But I just don't know if I want to paint in here and make a mess everywhere. So, yeah, there's that to it. But I would, honestly, I would love to respray this thing, like fix this thing and sand it all. Because, I mean, it looks good from right here probably. It looks amazing. But we polished it. But it really, you get up and it's not perfect whatsoever. So I would like to respray this blue again at some point. But I don't know if I want to be the one to do it just because it goes everywhere. But let me know if that's something you guys want to see. If you guys are super interested in that and you guys would watch it and share it. I mean, I could technically build like a little paint room booth in here and we could spray it. I did that with the S2000. It was a nightmare, but I did it. Dario says that would be hot damn badass. Yep, hot damn. There is a video with me and Joey when I stopped off there. But yeah, I want to bring that truck out there and we can run at the drag strip out there, or maybe we'll finally get Joey to leave Vegas and come out here. Birdman says 2011 Ram 1500 red lightning bolt thing bought used. I don't know. It sounds like something's going on. You'd have to pull the codes, man. But yeah, seeing all those lights, there's definitely something going on. Dr. Differential, why not do a really pissed off 5.7 with a blower of choice on top? Probably would be considerably cheaper and make probably around the same power. Yeah, I could. I could. I was thinking about. I mean, just for me, I've already done the 5.7 blown thing. I did that in the 2014 Ram with the Pro Charger kit on it. Definitely would need some pistons, unless we're running the 7 or 8 pounds, but it's not going to get us to the horsepower that we want to. I don't know. I just think if I'm going to retrofit and have to get all the controllers and computers to run a Hemi in this thing, especially the newer Hemis with the MDS and stuff, like the ones that make some jam, I think I still want to do the Hellcat thing. I think it would be so cool. Because just the Hellcat engine itself, right? So if I get a 5.7 Hemi, I still have to buy an engine harness and controller and PCM kit from Dodge to make the 5.7 run, which is going to be whatever it is, $1,500 or whatever. Or we get the Hellcat and I still have to buy the hot rod kit that has the PCM and the harness and all that stuff. But you're talking about getting a Hellcat engine that has all pretty much forged internals. You know, it comes with 707 horsepower. You put a pulley swap on it, some injectors, some E85, and you're over 1,000 horsepower on a stock engine that you don't have to touch. So by the time you get the Hemi, you know, if I got to use Hemi for $3,000, let's say, and then I have to get a Pro Charger kit to fit that Hemi engine for another few grand. I mean, I guess we're at $6,000, and then you add another, I don't know, let's say $1,500 to $2,000 for a Mopar controller and harness. What are we at? We're at $8,000 already. Versus I get a Hellcat motor for probably $8,000 to $10,000 if I get a good deal, and then $2,000 for the controller. It's only a few grand more to have 707 reliable horsepower and then turn it up to 1,000. To get a 5.7 to 1,000 horsepower, it's going to take all internals. So that's where I'm at with the whole thing. Nice thing about the 3rd gen Hemi platform is it does bolt up to this transmission. So not that transmission would take it, you'd have to build that transmission for it, but that's kind of the way I'm thinking, is eventually getting the Hellcat, bolting it up to a built version of this transmission and go send it. Birdman, thanks. Figure I'd be asking or be seeing how some places have different work hours. Closed, there might be an alternative workaround. Yeah, I would. You know what you should do, Birdman, is not that I'm trying to push any product, but if you look, I actually did a review on a. You can get them cheap, or I can link them if you want. But I did a review on an OBD2 scanner. You can get them for like $25 off Amazon. You plug it into your car. You probably already have a cell phone, even if you're watching this video, you probably have one. And you download the app, plug it into your truck, and it'll give you all the codes, and it'll tell you exactly what the codes are throwing. And then you can try to, you know, you could Google the codes, and you can probably find your answers on what's going on with it pretty fast. But I would do that, because, you know, with different lights on the dash, it's kind of just shooting in the dark for anybody trying to guess what's wrong with your truck. I would go and grab one of those little OBD2 scanners, throw it on there, download the app on your phone, and there's a bunch of them on Amazon, but if you want to see the one that I use, check out my video, or if you want to just go to Amazon, you can definitely find one, but I would do that. Uh, 12 valve dually. I feel like there are more interesting things than a Hellcat swap. What would you do? What would you put in there? I mean, yeah, maybe the Hellcat swap's not interesting. Oh, well, I don't know. How many people have shown doing a Hellcat swap on the Dakota? So when I was talking to IMM, like, I can get the Magnum engine to, I can get it to 700 horsepower for, I don't know, if I gave him the engine, I guess probably the $6,000 to $9,000 mark, depending on what you want to upgrade, and that would get me an engine that should be able to make, you know, 700 horsepower or so. If I try putting it together myself, we could probably see if I can get that done. I'm sure I could probably do it. It's just going to take me a lot longer because I don't do that stuff day in and day out. But we could try, and I could, you know, try and do a build, like a garage build on my own. We'll get all the tools to be able to, you know, install new bearings and pistons and forged rods on this, and we could try and do it that way. Then maybe just get him to work a set of heads, and I'll bolt up the heads. That would probably keep the price down. But that should get us into the 600 or 700 horsepower mark, as long as we have the blower to get us there. So we could do that too. I mean, that would put us into Hellcat power. If you guys think that's more interesting, that's probably a little bit easier to get done rather than swapping and cutting and grinding and welding new brackets. But let me know what you guys want to see. Dario, invited. Oh, wait, I think I skipped one. Ben said, Birdman, it's possible that your sensor is going. I would take it off, clean it up, put some dielectrical grease, and definitely check. Yeah, I would say check the codes. Like I was saying, get one of those little OBD2 scanners for cheap. Dario, innovated 55-watt HID going in as soon as weather warms up. And I have the LED Hikari Fox on the 2014. Thanks for all the previous RAM videos. Very good instruction. Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for the support, and I'm glad they put it to use. I'm probably going to try those innovated 55 watts on this RAM behind me, because, I mean, those things, I've put them on almost everything before. The Viper still has the innovated 55 watt, and they work really well. So I might put that on the RAM, too, and get that going. 12 valve says, good point on Hellcat. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, it just makes a lot of power stock, and it's reliable power, right? But, I mean, you're going to have to pay up front, but I don't know, to get the 5.7 to make the jam that we want, I think, honestly, rather than build up a 5.7, I would rather build a strong 5.9 Magnum. I think it would be cheaper to build a 5.9 Magnum with boost than it would to build a 5.7 with boost. I think I would rather do that before, and then if I can, do the Hellcat swap, I think, and then really turn things up. Ben. Oh, Birdman still check your video on it? Yeah, check it out, and I think go that way. It'll probably give you some more answers, more than we can give you here. Ben, no problem, I had that problem. Oh, he's answering to Birdman. Leo, what up, Leo? 12 I'll do it. I'd like to see a big Magnum build. That's what I want to do with mine, with turbos. I think that's what we're going to do, honestly. Built Magnum, drops in, no fuss. Yeah, I think everyone wants to see the built Magnum. So I think that's probably what we're gonna do for now, and we'll see how far we go. So I'm gonna cam the engine that's in here right now. I know a lot of guys want to see me pull the heads and work the heads and start grinding away at casting marks and stuff. Which don't get me wrong, that would be beneficial, but I don't want to pull the heads off this. I just want to keep this motor together. We'll put a cam in it. It'll sound good. It'll get those valves opening a bit more, get some air going into the engine, because that's one of the biggest bottlenecks on this truck is the fact that the cam is the same camshaft that's in the 318, the 5.2. This has the same cam as the 5.2, so it's opening just as much, but it has a way bigger displacement, which doesn't make sense. But I think they did it back then for emissions. So the cam that we're getting from IMM, I know a lot of guys were asking where I bought it. I got it from IMM, where I did that interview or whatever you want to call it, and we were talking to Brian over there. So that cam's coming, and I went there at the beginning of last week, so I think we're another week away, and I should have that cam. But yeah, we're gonna get this thing breathing, and then that engine that's behind the Dakota on the floor, I want to take that thing apart. We'll see and assess the damage, see how bad it is, and then we can start. Hopefully we can, I'll know a little bit better what's going on with the world and funds and stuff, so that I can decide if I want to start spending money. But I want to build that blown up engine on the ground. Either I'm going to build that one, or Jason's going to take that core for his build. But either way, we're going to have a built 5.9 on this channel. So we're going to have two builds. One that's naturally aspirated, a built engine, Magnum engine, and one that's going to take boost, which mine is probably going to be a boosted one, of course. Dr. Differential said, true, damn dude, good answer. I did the built engine. I'll keep the one that came out of it because it's low mileage, but I got the one that we are doing now. Let's see where the stock bottom end fails, ring gaps. Yeah, definitely, you're on the right track for sure. So if you're talking 5.7s or even this one, check the ring end gap, because that's one of the things that, happens. You start adding more boost, more heat, and then the ring end gap that Dr. Differential's talking is your rings that are inside the bore. What happens is you end up adding all that extra boost, and it creates more heat, and the ends of the ring actually butt up to each other and they flex, and what happens is it pops the top of the piston off. So that's what they do. So they make a bigger, they'll take the ring and they'll put more of a gap in the actual ring, and then it allows for that heating to not sit there and butt up against each other, the ends of the ring. and it's caused engine damage. But there's other ways too. I mean, you could spray meth to try to keep your temperatures down, or if you have a really clapped out engine, if it's an old engine, it probably has a big end gap to begin with too. But as far as 5.7 stuff, I was making a ton of jam on my last truck. I think we were hitting almost 10 pounds of boost on the 2014 Ram 1500 Hemi with 5.7. We never dynoed it, and it's hard to get a dyno reading on those 8-speed transmissions in the Rams. But I mean, we were running almost 11s with that fully loaded crew cab Ram. So we ran a 12.1 on like a brutal DA. I think it was like the DA was over 3,000 density altitude. So yeah, we were making a ton of jam on that old truck, and it took it. So I think it all comes down to tuning and making sure you have enough fuel. I think we'll almost wrap this live feed up, you guys. I'll be low gaming. I have a 2004.7, trying to put a 5.9 in it. I don't think the 4.7 harness circuit paddle. Is it easier to carb convert the 5.9 or just get a harness for it? I don't know if I've had to go that way. As far as converting it, I mean, yeah, if you put a carburetor on it, then you don't have to worry about any electronics, but I don't know what emissions looks like in your area. Yeah, if emissions isn't an issue in your area, honestly, I would probably go to a junkyard and just try to pull the harness and everything off of. I mean, there's so many of these trucks around with the 5.2 or the 5.9 in it. I would just try to get one of those, harnesses and stuff and throw it in there. It'd probably be easier to go to a junkyard, pull all the stuff out you need, and throw it on that truck. As long as you don't have to worry about the emissions, like I said. If you do, if wherever you're living, you have to, have all the VIN matching and all that stuff, then it might be a bit of a headache. But I would just go to a junkyard, pull all the harness and stuff that you need, and go from there. Harness, computer, whatever. 12 valve dually. What brand were the lightweight pins that IMM was talking about? I don't know, honestly. I didn't get into the brand of the pins. I'm sure, Brian's pretty cool. If you call Brian at IMM, he'll probably be able to tell you. But I don't know. We didn't get into the brands and stuff, but he was just, obviously, he was explaining it, right? Birdman, is the video you mentioned in a playlist? No, just search, I think it's called Adu. AUDEW, I think was the name of the OBD2 scanner that I ended up doing a review on. So I think it's called Adu. It's some weird name, but it works pretty good, and I still have it. I still use it from time to time too. Dario says, glad you're back. Trip is safe. Looking forward to more vids. Yeah, we're going to crank out the vids, guys. So I'll have another one for you tomorrow. I didn't get a chance to edit because I was out all day, kind of enjoying the weather and stuff. It was pretty nice here today. We went on a cruise, met up with some other YouTubers and a bunch of other nice cars too. So I'll have that video for you guys in the next few days too. Dr. Differential, I can 11.062 at 128 at Texas 2K my boost. Nice. So you're definitely flying then, that's for sure. Definitely flying. Yeah, my truck was just a fat pig, right? So I had a crew cab, fully loaded, sport model. I still had all this, leather, this, and every single option. And that thing was a heavy ass truck. And that's the reason, a lot of guys keep asking me why I got rid of my 4th gen Ram. The reason I got rid of it is because I got bored of it. And it got to the point where people wanted to see that truck go faster and faster and faster. I think at least. And I didn't want to strip a sport, fully loaded model truck into a drag truck. It just didn't make sense to me. If I was going to do something like that, I'd probably get a tradesman and just strip it. And even then, I don't think the 4-door thing made sense, but it's just me. So that's why I made all the content I wanted to make with it. I honestly kind of got bored of that project, and I wanted to do something different. So we sold that. This thing popped up, which has been pretty fun and brought a lot of new people to the channel. So, yeah, that's the reason why I got rid of that truck. But yeah, you're definitely flying, that's for sure. Damn, so your truck was crew cab full weight too. So you're flying, man. Yeah, I don't know what your setup is exactly, but yeah, you're moving. Ben. Hey John, question for you. I'm thinking about changing up the exhaust on my 18 Ram. It's a single exit, but what would you suggest for a bit louder than stock? I was thinking electric cutout. Yeah, I would say electric cutout. because you can adjust the noise. If you want a little bit louder, with your single exit exhaust, you're gonna see another resonator right before your exhaust tip. If you want a cheap way of getting a bit more sound out of your truck without making you completely crazy, get rid of the resonator off the back and just leave the big muffler underneath. If you want a variable exhaust, then yeah, get the electric cutout and you could be, you know, balls to the wall or completely bone stock. Ram 5.7, Mopar gang, what's up, man? Alright guys, I think that's gonna do it for me. I've been on this for a while. I feel like I need something to drink and I need some food, but let me know if you guys want me to do like kind of like a shout out type thing where I'll review your truck or rate your truck, and then I'll try to do that maybe on the next. I don't know, maybe I'll do a video out of it. Or if you guys want me to do it live, I could try to set something up, or we do it that way. On the spot exotics, hey buddy from Toronto, shutting you out on the next vid. Powell said he's looking into shutting you out on the channel. Love to see you up here. Cool, man. No, appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know right now with everything going on too. I don't know when I'll be up there next. Obviously the borders and stuff are closed, but yeah, I'll definitely let you know next time I end up going back up to Toronto. Alright guys, hope everyone had a good weekend. We'll do this more often if you guys are liking it, but leave me a comment down below if you guys want to see more of these live streams and stuff. We'll do more of them. I'm going to go get myself some dinner. I've been out all day editing, filming, all that stuff, but I got a ton of cool content coming for you guys, so thanks guys, have a good weekend, have a good week, and we'll see you on the next one.